Morning, everybody. Sorry, there was some glitch. So we are going to present our new webinar today. Myself, Varun Patel, and I'm CEO of Spokes Digital. Thank you for joining us today for today's webinar. Spokes Digital is the leading provider of digital marketing services for cannabis and hemp CBD industry. And today we are presenting the topic streamlining your 2021 marketing plan to attain goals for your respective businesses. So this is based on our experiences working for our clients, and we will be talking about that how can we achieve the goals for this year. It will be presented by myself and Lauren LaPlante, and this is our second webinar of 2021, and we'll continue maybe coming up with the new topics. So we would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in the Zoom control panel, and we can bring them up during the presentation. And we will also have some time at the end. So, and there's a Q&A that we can do. And the recorded version of this webinar will be available on our Sports Digital website, and link will be shared by our team. So now I will share my screen, and without further ado, I will hand this over to Lauren to start this presentation.
Thank you, Varun. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be with us for this webinar. So as Varun mentioned, we're talking today about streamlining your marketing plan to attain your goals in 2021. And we always start out with a quote. So here's Sun Tzu, who is actually a Chinese military strategist. And he says the tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. So in other words, always go in with a plan, have a strategy and a plan to execute. And then as you look at your metrics, you can make some changes, course changes along the way as your metrics perform or don't perform. Next slide. And we always start our webinars with statistics. So just, really showing how important and impactful the e-commerce marketing is and continues to grow. So I'll point out the first bullet there, the e-commerce is really expanding, growing 23% year over year, which is incredible, and reaching 4.5 trillion by this year, by 2021. And of course, the COVID pandemic, the situation that the world is in now, has really accelerated, adoption of the e-commerce channels. And it's going to continue. I mean, at some point, hopefully we get back to more of a normal, but I believe that e-commerce is really going to stick. Another statistic I want to point out here is that 95% of all purchases are estimated to go through e-commerce by the end of 2040. So again, just, more evidence in prospecting that this e-commerce channel is here to stay and it will be growing. And only 2.86% of e-commerce visits actually convert into a purchase. So, there's the challenge. The challenge is attracting the most relevant audience, users who are going to come to your website and actually make a purchase. Next slide, please. So here we're showing more statistics, and here specifically is the share of online sales of CBD products. So looking at the bar chart here, more than 50% or 55% of people came to buy a specific CBD brand. So they actually know of that brand and they went to the website to make a purchase. the next bar there's 40% of the CBD brands are actually sold in a marketplace. And also you'll see the next bar over another 40% are sold in Amazon. So this chart really shows how the CBD products are very much sold online. You have the 26% over there towards the right of the store website, whether stores such as CVS and Ulta. Next slide. Now looking at specifically the growth of marijuana sales. So if we look at the chart on the right, the bar chart going from 2015 to 2021. So here we are in 2021 looking at almost 15 billion of sales in marijuana. So this is, quite exponential growth year over year. Next slide, please. In this slide, we're talking about the actual product sales. So anything cannabis or hemp or CBD derived products, looking at the channels by which people buy them, but also year over year. So starting at the bottom, you'll see from 2014 all the way up to what's projected in 2021. So each one of these channels, whether it be pharmaceuticals, which is in the blue, the marijuana-derived products, which is in that darker bar color, and then the light gray, the hemp-derived products. So they're all expected to grow exponentially, and even more so the hemp-derived. Next slide, please. So this is really the next big thing, right? That's why we're all in this business and looking to support customers who are looking for cannabis, CBD products, and hemp products. But also, the consumers really have high expectations. So you look over here with, Amazon has really set the expectations high for customers. So when people come to your website, they really are expecting a more Amazon-like experience. And also they're looking for some of those perks like a 2-day shipping or even a free shipping option. And there's more competition for Google. So we do have the paid search and the organic through Google, but then we have other channels as well. The Amazon, Instagram, Bing, and then other alternatives, Snapchat, TikTok. So I know Varun is going to talk about this later, but there's so many different channels. So how do you decide which ones to focus on to bring the users who are going to buy and convert? So next slide here, we're also talking about diversification. So yes, 90% of traffic goes through Google. Facebook, as you know, is very popular, but also looking at other channels like a YouTube or, as we mentioned before, the TikTok, just really, getting to the local, even the local channels as well. Then the existing customer bases, right? With many brands exhausting their net new customer base, you really need to continue to appeal to your existing customers. So that's, can get to be more and more of a challenge, especially as, these markets with cannabis and especially CBD products, really people are coming into the space and offering their brand. So customers really have more choices, and how do you get them to notice your CBD products over someone else's? So there's a lot of competition there for customers. Now we're going to talk about the KPIs specific to the marketing objectives. These are things that we see in the industry. Next slide. So, of course, sales growth, right? You want to follow your sales growth, keeping an eye on revenue as well as the units sold. So looking at the statistics here of specifically CBD sales in the US and the fast growth of these sales from 2014 to 2022. Another important KPI that you should consider is profit margin. Right? Looking at what is your profit margin, not just, and there's several metrics that you can track here, the return on investment as well as the profit itself. So in the chart on the right, if you look at this, this is the net profit for cannabis infused product makers. So you see that the cannabis infused products has some of the highest profit margins in these types of consumer goods compared to pharmaceutical drugs, cigarettes, soft drinks, and confections down there. So this is a very good business to be in terms of profit margin. Another important KPI that you should consider is your market share. How, what is the size of your market and how much of that market share should you aspire to bring in? So you see some very well-known brands in the bar chart on the right here, CW Hemp, Green Roads, et cetera. So you get an idea of what their market share is here, and then you can compare yours to that. Before, when I mentioned some of those, Rune, we have Foray has been a client of ours, CBD for Life and CBD FX.
Yeah, absolutely, Lawrence. Yeah, so we have been also fortunate to work with a few of the brands over here, and we have helped them to establish their online presence. So it's good to see them in the list.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Another KPI that's really important is the new customer acquisition. So we always talk about, how much does it cost to attract a new customer? So KPIs that measure new customer acquisition include the number of new customers that you've brought in, how many new customers, the actual increase in the new customers, how much it costs, and also the lead to customer ratio. So, all of these KPIs are important to bring in new customers. And as everyone knows who's in, any type of marketing or retail, it always costs more to bring in a new customer than to keep an existing customer. Next slide. Another important KPI is the lifetime value of a customer, and some of the metrics that you may want to keep track of here are the number of repeat customers that you have, the customer retention rate, the lifetime spend in terms of keeping the customer and attracting them, and the net promoter score. Next slide, please. Another KPI that is important for somewhat different reasons is social media engagement. And I say for somewhat different reasons because this social media we find is very important to promote brand awareness, driving traffic, getting people to notice you and to being able to bring your message forth. But social media we find is not necessarily a driver of sales, at least directly. Indirectly it is. So some KPIs. So there is a value in social media, but just understand that some of the metrics that that are important to track here are maybe a little bit different than some of the other marketing objectives. So some of the KPIs that are important for social media are increasing your followers, how many comments or likes do you get on your posts, the number of shares, number of opt-ins, and then noticing the traffic that comes to your website through social media. That's a really important metric. Next slide. So another area of metrics that are very important are conversion metrics. So what does conversion metrics mean? It means when you ask a user for a call to action, like a buy now button or a shop now button, keeping track of that behavior. So looking at different channels, for example, the search engine optimization, what's important there in terms of conversion? It's page views, it's average session duration or duration time. That's how long a user comes to your website and browses around. The backlinks are actually, think of them as your online referrals, and the number of sessions. So from a paid media standpoint, the important metrics for conversion are the add to cart, the abandonment cart rate, meaning someone has come to your site, they've browsed around, they've clicked on a product or two and put them in the cart, but they haven't actually completed the sale. They haven't completed the checkout and made the purchase. So those are also important metrics to follow. For email marketing, some of the important metrics are the clicks, the views, and the open rate. And then here, the social media, which I talked about earlier, the traffic that comes to the website from those social platforms, as well as the shares. Next slide, please. Okay. So here's a case study showing for search engine optimization, a client that we worked with in organic, helping them with their organic traffic and getting more conversions. So you'll see that we're comparing the time period from basically the month of November to the month of December and how various metrics have changed or improved. So you'll see the number of users has improved almost 15% month over month. And the new users has also improved almost 17%. The sessions have improved 16%. So again, these are all the metrics that we just mentioned. The bounce rate. So the bounce rate is users who come to your website and then they fall off. They don't, maybe they clicked on your website and they realize that they don't have interest in it. So a lower bounce rate is always better. So the bounce rate improved or decreased a little over 5%. Going to the average session duration, the average session duration improved, which is very good. That means that we're attracting users who are relevant. They're interested in your website and what you have to say and sell. And then the e-commerce conversion rate. So how many of those users came in and actually transacted? And then off to the right there, you see the revenue. So we were able to, month over month, increase revenue from this site over 21%. So these are all search engine optimization activities that help to improve the results of your website. Here's another case study looking specifically around the paid conversion. So this is a paid media engagement that we have with a client. And you'll see that going from the sessions to the shopping progression in the abandonment. So you have almost 180,000 sessions, and then bring it all the way down to as you follow that user behavior. You have sessions with the add cart is to almost 24,000, and then all the way down to sessions with transactions, which is over 12,000. So these are all metrics that you want to follow month over month and see how you're improving, bringing in relevant consumers. And here's some statistics or a case study with an email marketing campaign that we've done. So these are the conversion KPIs, bringing in, putting an email out there and then tracking how many were opened, how many were clicked on, the bounce rate. And Varun is pointing out here the clicks per unique open. So, how many of those folks actually were interested in what you had to, the message that you had. And okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Varun. I basically gave you kind of an overview of the KPIs and the marketing objectives. Varun is going to talk about the steps, but he's also going to pull this all together and show you how you can take each one of those marketing objectives and make them a working marketing plan for you. Varun?
Thank you, Lauren. So we'll talk about steps that we can follow to plan about digital marketing campaigns in the 2021, and then once we talk about the steps, we will talk about business growth recommendations from our experience, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. So from our experience, what we have seen, like when we think of any kind of campaign or any kind of scenario in marketing, there are so many questions than the answers that we have. And these questions are like this. So what does all this analytics data mean? Because there's so much data in analytics, and what to do with that data. So, and maybe second question might be, how can we meet changing consumer and market demands when we are launching a product or launching a campaign around that? Or maybe why is not a campaign performing and strategy is not working? And maybe most of the times we have seen that whatever the goal we set up, sometimes we don't achieve that goal. So maybe there's some kind of a course correction that we need to do. How do we create a better customer experience? Maybe how can we say that customer is finding a product that is looking for, the information, everything is organized. Maybe there's maybe less load time of the website on the mobile and the next desktop. So I think creating that experience is very important. Which channels provide the best ROI? Where do we find more customers? How do we inspire customer loyalty? How should we? So all those questions that I'm putting here, they are the questions that we face when we work with any client, and I think our clients also ask the same questions. And I think we have come up with a process that we follow internally when we plan for the campaigns for our clients. Maybe you can also learn from that process, and we follow that process to make the campaigns and marketing working for yourself. So if we look at the steps to streamline digital marketing effort, these are steps that we found are helpful. So it should go in a kind of a funnel. Like for example, defining your marketing objectives is very important. It's more like setting up goals for the campaigns. Second is analyzing your current and previous marketing effort and seeing what has been working, what has been not working. And third is analyzing your customers, competitors' marketing efforts. So competitors are there who are also trying. So we can also analyze where we are, because by whatever campaign we are going to launch, there is going to be a competition. Either it is organic media or it is paid media. There has to be a kind of a competition. We have to look into the kind of strategy that competitor is following. Defining market is very important. Like what is the market that we are going to follow? It's not that we are going to target everything with a small budgets. Maybe we have to be very strategic about the market we are targeting, then define the marketing strategy around that market, then having defining your marketing funnel, like what is your goal and which maybe which step in the marketing funnel is important for us, and setting up that funnel in the analytics, and defining your marketing channels, because this is also very important to prioritize, because there are so many channels and so many platforms, but we have to define which channels are important for us. Defining the marketing messaging is also important, doing A/B testing, maybe doing some maybe advertising with something that works for your business. And I think is not like one size fits for all. We have to be very strategic about creating those marketing messaging. Defining the marketing budget for the campaign. This budget can be maybe decide, for example, 3 months marketing budget or 6 months marketing budget, and then dividing that marketing budget into channels, and then also dividing that budget into monthly and weekly basis and daily basis. So this is something that we have to do, and we have to follow that also. Defining your implementation plan, that is an important thing, because once we are certain about everything that is before this final step, we can implement the whole strategy. So let's go to step by step on. Let's go to first step first, that is defining your marketing objective. So this is, I think, very important, because if you don't have goals for the campaigns, we're always going to be very vague about campaigns, and maybe we can't track anything. So we have to be very smart, that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. And this can be done in analytics very easily. We set up goals in analytics. So when we launch any campaign, it can be either paid or either SEO campaign. Set up goals. So create new goals as per the kind of activity you want to target. For example, I want to target, for example, 1,000 purchases in 3 months, and these 1,000 purchases will come as a result of, for example, maybe you have 10,000 customers who came to the website. Out of that, maybe 500 people went to the add to cart, and out of the 500, maybe I will say 300 people went to the checkout, and then 100 people went to the purchase. So if purchase your objective, then you have to set up a goal for that, and then all the steps that you follow in the process has to be set as a goal, and we need to track that are we actually achieving the each goal, starting from the goal one, that is driving customers to the website. And if you other objectives, then we have to see that can we set up other goals as well, like if you have quizzes, or if you have for example, maybe newsletter subscriptions, or maybe homepage subscribe. So we have to put up everything as a goal and track it as a destination or as an event in our analytics. Second is analyzing your current marketing efforts. So that is very important, because we have to include that high performing marketing campaigns in our marketing plan, and we have to see which are the channels that are giving you highest ROI. So this slide shows you that where were the channel. So in analytics, if you go to analytics, you will see the same kind of look and feel, where you will see which channels are performing best, and which source and medium is giving you highest sales, either is direct, Google organic. This is us. We are doing paid media campaigns for our clients, maybe Yelp, or maybe some other email campaigns, or maybe other campaigns that are there. So we need to see which channels are performing, and then probably we need to prioritize in terms of maybe making some changes on the campaigns. And this can be done with the investigation of what is working, what is not working, which keywords are working, which kind of products are selling most, maybe, or for example, which products have highest ROI, and which campaign should be done around those products. So each has to be done in terms of performance of channels. This is for a CBD client, earlier on was for the cannabis client. So again, we can see this is a client, this is us. We are doing paid media campaign for a CBD client. So we are driving highest revenue. So I think this is a most important channel for the client, and yeah, and I think they would like to put more money into it, because they see a lot of maybe value in doing paid campaigns around the products we are doing. So this is something has to be seen, and we can see that the conversion rate is also very high for the campaigns we are running. Even Google also has a high conversion rate of 3%. So I think this is working for them, and maybe they need to focus continuously on the top top three channels, and they can probably also look at channels such as email and SMS because they have higher conversion rate of 7 to 8% over, and this 11 to 12% on the SMS. So probably they can put more money on the SMS, on the email, to maybe get more revenue on these channels. So this is very important to prioritize once we are planning for the campaigns. Third step in this is like analyzing your competitors' efforts. So this is very important because we need to see what promotions competitors are running, because in case they are running maybe 20% off, or maybe free shipping, then I think this is not worth to do a 15% and maybe paid shipping, or maybe 2 day shipping. I think we need to see what is something that we have to uh, launch as an ad and offer. So this is from the Facebook, where you can study from the Facebook gallery that which are the competitors who are running what kind of ads, what is the messaging, what are the creatives from the Facebook. But we can also see it from the Google campaign perspective. This is from the auction insights section on the Google Ads, where you can see that what is your impression share on all the keywords that you are bidding on this and what is the impression share of the competitors who are bidding against the same keywords. And then you can also see how many times your ads have overlapped with the ads of competitors, how many times they have been above yourself on the ads, and how many times they have been on top of the page, maybe on top three, and how many times they have been on like maybe on a number one position on the same keyword search, and how many times they have outranked your keyword bids and your ads in the Google Ads. So this is very important data to see, and then maybe to decide like where we have to probably bid, and where we have to probably not bid, because there's a niche about your business, there's a uniqueness about your business, and that we have to find out by studying that what are the most search terms, what is the most search queries that are bringing traffic to you and business to you in terms of impressions and also clicks. The next step is like defining a market. I think that is very important, because if you are doing a very generic kind of a campaign targeting all across us, targeting all ages and targeting everybody in the interest in hobbies and all this stuff, I think we need to find out, okay, what is something that is very unique for us in terms of demography. What is the characteristic of the demography, what interests do they have, hobbies, influences, what is the pain point we are solving, what is the solution that we are giving to the customer, what is something that they will gain out of our products. We need to create those avatars in terms of uh, market audience and launch the campaigns. So next slide will tell you more about that. So when we launch our campaigns, we specifically decide about our goals and also see which target locations we are targeting, and we also see how much is the, for example, we bid or budget and everything like that. But we also see what is the audience, and for example we are targeting either existing customer base, or we're targeting the all visitors of the website. Then we have further bifurcation of we from the users who we are targeting, which kind of maybe interest category they have. Are they from fitness background, or do they like for the sport and fitness kind of section, or they like something like health and fitness stuff, or they are running enthusiasts. And so we have to find different audience lists out of the overall targeting that we do, and then we can customize it based on the response that we receive from the campaigns. This is from the Facebook, and so one is talking about locations and another is talking about demography. So we are very, so we can see this here, like we never targeted like a single location. We have targeted all the locations based on the zip codes. So each location has zip codes, and then we are targeting local campaigns by zip codes, and because we are having limited budget, and then within that zip code we also have very defined we I would say age and the interest category of people, like people who are having certain interest, and people who are living in that certain zip code can only see these ads, and then we can probably show them the products that we are selling. There is a very defined audience, and it increases a kind of I will say conversion rate for the campaigns. The next step is about defining your marketing strategy in terms of four P's of marketing. I think every one of us have read this. Maybe as a there are four P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. So how can we mix in the marketing campaign to make sure that we are having all these in our promotions? So these are some examples of shopping ads that we're doing for clients. So this is the product that we are targeting. For example, kind of a tincture that we're targeting for our client, then price something that we're mentioning on the campaign, and then we have place. So we are targeting very specific locations, all zip codes across California. Then promotions, so we can see all these offers that are going on for each product in tincture, in gummies, in bath bombs. So we have very specific messaging, and the ads targeting the four P's of marketing, and it is giving good results for our clients. And we can see from the map like how we are targeting the zip code locations across California. Then there's something called as the marketing funnel. That is also very important because when we have customers, they will move through this funnel, passing through awareness stage to engagement stage to conversion stage and advocacy, and then you will see a drop happening on each stage. So how to define that purchase funnel in analytics is very important. So this is an example from one of our customer where we have defined the checkout sales funnel, where we are tracking people who are coming to the homepage, and then we are seeing that okay, how many people have proceeded to the checkout, to the cart page. Then we are seeing that how many have proceeded to the checkout page, and then in checkout page you can see how many proceeded, and then there is a file conversion happening. So we are seeing that the goal was the checkout, and it was completed in 680 sessions. So 14.14% is the funnel conversion rate. That is something we can see. So that is very important to see that each step, this was basically the awareness stage to the this is a checkout and this is the final conversion stage. So we have to follow the whole funnel and see like where people are dropping, why they are dropping. So we can see this in the funnel, like which pages people have dropped from, and then we can see all the sessions, like people have exit from the home page, some of them have exit from some particular pages. Then we can see all these links of pages that you can analyze and see why they are dropping from those pages. Maybe there's some high load time, there's probably less information, or there's no offer mentioning. So we have to analyze all that stuff to improve the whole customer experience across the sales funnel. Then defining marketing channels is also very important. So we can see the next slide as a case study, uh, where we are seeing that this is performance by marketing channels. And then if we click on the organic is the second best performing channel here, then we can see Google, Bing, Yahoo, maybe which channel is giving how much traffic, and what is the revenue, and what is the conversion rate. Similarly, for social media, we can see which are the channels performing: Yelp, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then we can prioritize those channels in terms of doing more campaigns around them. So that is very important to maybe analyze in this kind of a process, step by step process. The next step is defining a marketing messaging. So IDA is a very important thing in terms of messaging. Something that can grab the audience attention is very important to mention in the ads, and that can build the further interest, creates the desire, and provokes the action. So that's the whole objective of that marketing messaging, and creating that messaging is very important. So you can see it from some of the advertisements we have created. This is one of the dispensary client that we have done. Now we are simply showing off this is an online dispensary, 10% off the entire order. This is like having code is this and order online now. And second, you can see as a banner, we are just talking about like, okay, what is the problem you are solving, and what is the product, how much is the offer, and what is the code. So we are just giving very simple messaging and the offer and the code so that people follow that, and probably they click on it and they make a purchase. So next, the last, I think the second last step is defining marketing budget before we implement. So defining marketing budget is very important because we have to uh, see a day by day process to reach out to that budget. So once we decide that marketing budget for 6 months or 3 months, then we divide it to the weekly and daily basis. So we can see for one of the client, we have done it for so each campaigns, we can say these campaigns are search or brand campaigns around some specific geography. These campaigns have a specific per day budget, and we are targeting those campaigns on that budget basis. Similarly, for this client, we have search specific campaigns with geographies, and then we have a per day budget for those campaigns. So each campaign is limited by the budget, and once we have we exhausted that, then probably campaigns stop. So we have to decide the daily budget based on the weekly and monthly budgets. So defining implementation plan. So this is like how are we going to define plan? So if you have a revenue targets, for example, if revenue target is maybe for example $5 million in revenue. So maybe you have to break it down to the maybe quarter level, on a month level, and on a week level, so that you can reach to that plan. So, but before implementing that plan, we need to have a kind of forecast that can help you to understand that how much money we will put on which campaign to achieve how much percentage of the revenue and how much completion of the goal would happen through that campaign. So this is an example of the forecast plan that we can create before we go live. So for example, when we launch campaigns, we can say what are the campaigns over here, the months, maybe the geographies we are targeting for the campaigns, and how much is the budget for that. Maybe if you have a total budget of, for example, $10,000 divided to the various locations based on the performance that you based on the goals you have in your mind, and these goals coming from the end goals. For example, you want to see 100 conversions from the Long Beach, and then you are saying that okay, I will have highest budget maybe placed on Long Beach, and if the cost per click for this location is 2.41, then total number of and the CTR is 32.14%, then what is the impressions and clicks that I will receive? So we are seeing those conversions over here. So this is a forecast that we put together for our clients. We discuss with them, and each month over month, we can see those targets for us and for our campaigns. Sometimes this is helpful because we may or may not achieve, but we can always try something that so that we can improve on the process. And if we don't achieve it, we can always sit together and we can discuss that what is the problem, why haven't we achieved it, what should be done in order to achieve the goals in the next month. So this is very important to see from the goals perspective and budget perspective before implementing the whole campaign plan. So next is the business growth recommendations for 2021. Before that, I would like to see some questions if we have, so that we can discuss that as well, and we can keep going after that. So let me see. Okay. Piyush is asking what is impression share. Can you explain all these terms? Is this for a CBD client? Yes, Piyush. So this is for our CBD clients. Impression share is basically for example, if there are 100 impressions overall for the keywords you are targeting, then if you are having 40% impression share, means you are be owning 40% of impressions on all these searches, overall searches. So that is the impression share. And all terms I think I explained already, and that was like top of the funnel rate and top of position rate and above position rate. So I think everything maybe talks about your overall performance with respect to competition. So how many times they have outranked and outperformed, and how many times you have outranked and outperformed your competitors. So all these terms uh, are there. Uh, Next question you're asking is please elaborate. Okay, so what is an impression? So an impression is simply when somebody is searching for a keyword, then your ad shows up. That is an impression. So someone who does not click, so process before clicking on the ad. So your ad is showing up is an impression. Please elaborate more on the funnel. Look like you have completely missed all the touch points, and each stage will have a different content and strategy. Yeah, so I think this is a very customizable kind of approach to set up a marketing funnel. I was just showing one example from one client, but each client and each campaign will have different stages and touch points too. So you need to set up maybe a customizable marketing funnel for each and every client. This is not maybe one size fits for all strategy where you can take only one funnel. So I think what is important for the business, we need to define it first and we set up funnel according to those goals. So let's go through business growth recommendations for 2021 and then we'll come to Q&A maybe after this. So again, I'm coming back to the purchase funnel that we discussed earlier. So I think what we are seeing here is like we always need to set up that how many people are going to your website and for example how many people are actually going to the this IDA model where we are saying how many people are going to next is where uh, they are having an interest on a brand and then desire to maybe engage with you more and then creating an action. So this can be seen via these KPIs. For example, awareness. If you're creating an awareness, we are seeing how many non-branded search keywords are there, which are driving traffic to your website, and how much traffic is coming from social media, from FB, YouTube, and TikTok, and that will bring people to the website. The next step is interest, and you can always see how many people are coming from branded search, how many people are coming from image search, and how many people are coming from Pinterest and Instagram. So I think this, if you can filter this, you will see that most of the people who coming from branded and image search, they know about your brand and maybe have some positive reviews and feedback about your brand. And next is like having an analysis of like how many people have searched on long tail high purchase intent keywords and come to your website. It means that they are looking for some product and they're finding you and coming to your website means they want to buy. Or how many people have come from email marketing, they're clicking on the email, opening email and coming to the website. Or how many people have come from the local searches and all that. And then we can also see how many people who are coming from social media have spent some more time on the website. So these are some of the KPIs that we can see. How can we see how many people who are coming to each stage, and how can we be correct our action to the different channels. Action is again about like how many people are giving us reviews and testimonials that builds trust credibility of our brand, and also personalizing email on opening that email. So this is a funnel that we have to set up. As Piyush was saying, this funnel can be created, I think, for each and every client separately depending on the goals on each of the funnel steps. So the next point on this funnel is the customer segmentation for more targeted offerings. I think this is very important because I think each of us are trying to do targeting to different to maybe a kind of a very relevant customer base, and the e-commerce growth comes from personalization and correct segmentations. So we have to see what is the value we are offering and what is the potential value that is can be offered. So we have to see that who are the happy customers in terms of current value and potential value, and probably target to the segment where we have the happy customers in that way. So this is kind of a process we follow for our clients when we create segments for our business. We always see put the conditions, like for example, we want to analyze like which age group, which gender, with which language, and having particular affinity and in market segment, or having a location. Then we find out like how much percentage of number of users that we have on the website have a particular kind of output. So we create the segments on the website, on the analytics to analyze the website data. This is one example where we are doing this analysis of, for example, city contains Kansas City. So we are seeing out of overall users, 7.79% of users belong to Kansas City, and then we can specifically see the performance of those users and maybe engagement of them on the website. So creating the segments is very important, and then targeting your segments with the specific campaigns is very important in that way. Then in-depth behavioral data analysis that helps you not only to personalize your offerings, but it will also help you to maybe get more paying customers. So this is very important thing thing on a website. So if you look at this, I think Lauren was already talking about this in the previous slides, but here's more detailed version of this where I have given more explanation on this. So for example, if we are having the funnel over here where we are seeing we 12 million sessions have been generated. These are the overall sessions, out of which 7 million people drop. This is without on any shopping activity, and 4 million will go to the next step, that is product views. And then we can see to the next step where again 3 million people drop on the no cart addition. Maybe 900,000 will go to the other process, that is add to cart. Out of that, 250,000 drop, and then 999,000 people who are going to go to checkout. Out of that, 800,000 drop, and then there's 200,000 transactions. So we are seeing this is the overall funnel. So we have to see the behavior of the customers and see why there's a huge drop of customers on each step, and what is this like card abandonment process we can follow. How can we reduce the abandonment from the card? Maybe by offering some immediate discounts, or maybe we can do an email or do a campaign to engage those customers. So that is something that's very important to in depth do the analysis, like why the drop is happening and how can we personalize this to reach out to this base of customers and convert them for the next time. And then the most important recommendation is to focus on the UI and UX, because Google has also maybe stated in the new release of algorithm that in 2021 UI and UX is going to be the most important factor for the organic growth and SEO success. So that is very important for the SEO as well as for the paid, because on the paid campaigns, if you have maybe high load time on the mobile, then customer will drop, they will not purchase because they don't have maybe time for to wait for your website to load. We should be very quick. I think 60 to 70% of traffic is coming to the website via mobile devices, so we have to be very quick on mobile. We should adopt mobile first designs to increase the mobile speed and work on that. In order to see that where we are dropping from and what should be fixed, we should set up a kind of a customer flow behavior on a website. So this is one example from one of our client where we are seeing that okay, the people are coming to the webs. For example, uh, there are for example 700 sessions, 700,000 sessions happening. Out of that, 244,000 people go to the shop page, and then out of shop page there are some drops, and then there are further people are going to the next pages. So we can see why people are going to the shop page, they're dropping, they're going to the brands page, checkout page, delivery page. So we have to see why people are dropping from the pages that are there on the each stage, on the first interaction, on the second interaction, on the third interaction, the fourth interaction. And we need to improve on that, and analytics gives you all the data, like why people are dropping from the pages. Maybe there's a load time of 11 seconds on a page. So this is for sure that they will drop from that, because your load time should not be more than 3 seconds for any page. So we need to reduce the load time of that page from 11 seconds to 3 seconds to reduce the dropout. And that is something that has to be done for each page analysis, that why people are dropping. Either it is a no messaging, there's no content, or there's something missing on the information side, or maybe it is technical from the load time side. And then we can improve that customer behavior on each flow interaction. So credibility and trust. So this is very important, and having those reviews, having those recommendations from customers is very important. So you can see these reviews and recommendations are from one of our client who have got it because they are using, they are giving a very good service. So maybe we can mention these reviews on the product pages, on the home page of website, on landing pages to improve the maybe purchase decision by the customers who are new, and it also increases the overall conversion rate of the website. Then going omni-channel or bringing offline shoppers online is a new way of doing it. So I think either you are a brick or mortar business, or you are e-commerce business, or having both. I think we can adopt the process where we can convert both customers. So there's an example from one of our client. This is something you can see. This is a dispensary client where they are having the physical dispensaries, and they are having this software online where you can visit them virtually and have the oral experience of the dispensary by being online. And then you can make a purchase by discussing with one of the sales manager, and then we can go to the dispensary and may pick up the products. So this is like they're taking people online to offline. And on another side, this is the customer who has a dispensary business and having a lot of offline customers who are going to the dispensaries, but they launched a CBD line of products where people who are going to dispensaries, who know about the brand, who know about the company, they can go online and buy CBD products if they are already buying cannabis products in the dispensaries. So this is a very good example of omni-channel approach that they're following in terms of bringing customers offline to online and online to offline, and we can also follow it. There's a Q&A time. So let me see if we have any other questions. So we have some other questions like what are the touch points you include? So Piyush, the other touch points that I'm talking about is in the funnel is, for example, how many customers are going to specific product pages. So we can create maybe very specific product pages we are targeting, and then we can also see that how many people are actually adding to cart on those product pages. So we have to customize depending on the requirements. If you have a detailed requirement of your business or your clients, maybe we can discuss more in detail. Maybe you can reach out to us. Kimberly is asking, what is the strategy for new startups with limited finance to attract customer for through the website? So Kimberly, the best thing is that we have talked about here is creating trust. So if you look at the maybe this last point where credibility and trust is very important. So build that whatever customer base you have, try to maybe get the testimonials and reviews and put them wherever it is possible to do that, so that you have a very credible maybe interface for the new customers. Then we have Jill Cohen to panelists. So I need a marketing campaign for my CBD commerce and brick and mortar in NJ. Is email to okay. So we will reach out to you, Jim. I will talk to my team if they can do it. And next is my how to build a marketing plan that reaches our target audience and achieves the market branding goal. I think that is important to have a plan and goal based on our audience and based on products. We can discuss it more. Maybe if you reach out to us, we can talk more about that, especially your business. And Namrata is asking how to get a marketing plan for a new brand. Reach out to us and we will help you to understand more on that. Jordan to panelists, which platform works better? Go display upon ads, Yelp ads. Yes, Jordan, we do manage Yelp ads. We have Yelp advertising partnership with the Yelp, and we help basically. But the only limitation for Yelp ads is that you should have a physical location to do the Yelp ads. And in terms of Google Display and programmatic, I will say again, this is not like one answer because Google Display will work for you better if your products uh, maybe are having maybe a good also brand name, because Google has a algorithm where they will attract customers based on the remarketing campaigns, and programmatic ads will work better if you are a new brand and you can reach out to the masses specific to the your product industry, and you need to, so if you're not a good brand, you need to talk about cannabis or CBD, then of course you need to advertise on platforms that can help you to talk about the messaging around your business. Yes, so let me go to the my next slide here. This is the slide. You can reach out to us, Kimberly, and we'll help you for other questions. For a limited amount in stock product, let's say 300 pieces only, is it possible to plan a limited campaign? Yes, Jackie, we can do that. Again, we need to understand what is the product price, and what is the target audience that you want to advertise to, and then probably we can come up with a very specific answer. But I think the answer is yes, you can do a small campaign if you want to do it. Chuck, we will send you the copy of presentation. Everybody who is in the this webinar will get the one copy of the presentation. Yes, Chuck will send that to you. Then Ellen is asking, do you recommend legitimate news sites as an environment for ads? Yes, I will say if they allow you cannabis and CBD ads, then certainly you should go for the ads. If they have some limitations, then you need to see. Also, you need to check out what is the traffic that they have and what is the overall conversion rate for the website. If they can share a case study and if they have a success stories mentioned, then you can probably go through it. If you want more details, please send me the link of the news website and we will help you to get the answer. So thank you very much, everybody. I think our time is over. So our team will get back to you with one of the link to the presentation, and you can also reach out to us to my email ID, and you can also find me in the LinkedIn, or you can also reach out to Lauren with the email here and also in the LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Kimberly. Looking forward to talk to you guys. Have a nice day.